Another additive object to move from is maybe a platform that disappears. So what we're going to look at is this portion right here of the stage itself. Looking at that piece of the stage, again, just like we did with that sprite, we're going to have to create another sprite. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to call this trap, as in like a trap door, something like that. I'm going to use a blue, try to be similar to that of this. If you're not quite sure what blue that is, you can actually pick up the blue and then you can pour that in to the function there. You can see that these blues aren't quite the same size wise and things like that. So what we want to do is we want to kind of redimensionalize this. Again, I'm going to pick up the color of that blue there. And should be good with that aspect now, based off from that. So what we need to do now for this is I need to grab this box here and make this box just a little bit smaller. Based off from that, you can see you want to make this look as smooth as possible. So again, it's going to be dealing a lot with kind of playing around with size. This does use a lot of time up. But it is a nice little added feature to the piece here. So you can see now, if I were to make that just a tiny bit smaller here, it would appear as if it wasn't even there at all, which is the part that we're trying for here. So we want this piece to actually be there but not there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into the stage, and pretty much where I have this piece already written in, we're going to erase the stage. So there is a couple ways you could do this. So in this case, we're going to have this continuation piece here. So you can see that the stage is almost erased completely, and there's a little bit of a gap in the stage. Based off from that, it looks like I might have taken just a little bit too much off from both sides. So what you can do is there's always this nice editing undo button for that. So I did go a little bit too far, and now it's starting to put a little bit more of the chunk back for me. So you do have to be very careful. It is time consuming again, but these are some of the customizations that judges look for in competing. So these are the kind of the difference pieces, or the difference makers per se, in doing really well or not so well. So looking at this, there's a couple different ways that we can do this. So you can see now I have my bar set up. I just want to double check my paint. So looking at my paint, I want to make sure that I pick up that blue. Okay, so based off from that blue, I want to make sure that that is indeed the same blue. So actually we'll pick up this white here. And you can see that sometimes the blues don't always line up, but that's okay. One thing that you can do is you can actually pick it up from here. So now you have that same exact blue. So now when I switch over to this sprite, I can use that same exact blue to kind of fill that blue in. So now they're exactly the same. So you can see that there is a little bit of an alteration, again, going back to details and things like that. You could fix that up. But what I want to do is I want to actually create a whole nother costume. And I'm going to have this be called Trap Off. So I have Trap and Trap Off. So basically based off from there, it is going to appear and disappear. You can have a couple different lines there based off from what you want to do. You could actually fill that in with something or just leave it blank altogether. In this case, I'm going to leave it just blank. You can see that inside of your step-by-steps, they put little bars there to distinguish that there was or was not something there. But again, based off from there, you're going to actually use the same line of code that you used with your laser. So actually, I'm going to duplicate. I apologize. Sprite's been running into some problems here when it comes to alignment issues. Not quite sure what's going on there. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm actually going to switch that over into this sprite here. If it'll go, there it goes. And then I'm going to switch costume not to on, but trap and then trap off. So now if you're looking at this, it'll continue on over and over again based off from that random selection of time. It may be open for 5 seconds, not open for 5 seconds. Again, just increasing your difficulty. And then also this piece here. Looking to duplicate, but as you can see, there's some issues based off from here. So now I can finally get the duplicate that I wanted, and I drop it off on sprite number 2. Used to be a very fast, easy way to do this with the duplicates. Definitely speeds up your time process, but as you can see, a little bit of programming error. If contacted Scratch to kind of let them know, but there you go. Now you have it. Actually, you don't even need this piece here because actually when the door's gone, you're going to find out that our character in general actually will kind of fall right through the floor. So there he is standing on the floor. Now the floor moves and you fall through it. Just another way to add a trapdoor and add a little bit more difficulty to your game.